Welcome to the Advanced Licensing Podcast Series with CEO John Bellavy. Here, we unlock the power of licensing, showing you how to own a business, build wealth, and keep control without the limits of franchising or the risk of going it alone. John sits down with the leaders of today's most exciting companies to reveal how licensing turns opportunity into freedom for you and your family. This is your inside track to building the business of your future. Let's dive in.
All right, welcome everyone. Today, we're going to talk about partners in profit, exploring the advanced licensing ecosystem to kind of give you an idea. As far as how things work, we're going to go a little bit more into the weeds. In the upcoming series, we're going to have interviews with the CEO and owners of some of our portfolio companies. We're not going to get too specific today, but I think it's important if you're looking to license your business, possibly expand nationally, internationally. Licensing might be that. Last week's episode, I went a little bit into the advantages of licensing over franchising or the do-it-yourself model. Feel free to go back and review that podcast, but we're going to talk a little bit more about our portfolio companies. We're going to talk about licensing and really levels of licensing. It's most companies, there are different levels of licensing. The nice thing is you have the control as far as how you want your brand, how you want your name represented. Licensing, you give somebody the option to use your name, but if you're building a national brand, it would make sense that they piggyback on top of that to be part of that national network of whatever business that you're in. So I'm going to just take you over to my screen, and this is our website, advancedlicensing.com. Our portfolio, I always like to give a snapshot of our success because when we started in licensing, I again shared the story on the last podcast as far as how I got into it through selling 99-cent stores. And our first project, Main Street Chamber of Commerce, that's kind of where we understood licensing was a way to go. And we used that in our furniture business, Ideal Furniture, Dirty Laundry Solutions, which has evolved into Kathy Ireland Laundry, and White Glove for Less was our transportation logistics company. That was kind of born out of a necessity. When you're in the furniture business and you realize that what's out there, most of the stuff gets damaged 30 to 40% of the time, we had to be proactive and say, we need to get in the logistics so we can minimize the amount of damage. So that company came more out of a necessity, but we had success early on and throughout with licensing. And if you have a chance, definitely you want to look at the podcast from the last podcast, how it lets you keep the profits licensing. So I'm going to just briefly give you kind of an overview on these companies. Green Bin Kathy Ireland, very simple. It's a alternative to moving boxes. This company is expanding rapidly. Territories are for sale where somebody can be an owner-operator in the green bin rental business. It's a very low overhead business, very high profit system. Somebody can start part-time, turn it into full-time, but what we're seeing is a part-time business that brings a full-time income. Ireland Pay is credit card processing. This is offering a company the best rates that are out there. We can save companies money. And at the same time, Kathy, she's very philanthropic. 51% of her profits go into a nonprofit. She actually is taking whatever she makes, more than half of that, and supporting a company, a nonprofit. And she has different causes that she really stands up for. Great company, great name, and it works. People love to save money, especially credit card processing. It's possibly, it's a racket out there. So the nice thing, when Kathy attaches her name to a business, it's gone through a lot of tests to make sure that it's the right fit for her brand, for her name, for what she stands for. Same thing with Furniture Factory. That's just somebody getting a storefront and really offering high quality, made in the US furniture. And a lot of this furniture, these are pieces that are, I say knockoffs to Restoration Hardware. You could buy a sofa for $10,000. You can buy something that looks exactly like that 10,000, same quality, but about half the price. Furniture Factory, we do have a flagship location in California. Kathy Ireland Laundry, this is just pickup and delivery. This is on-demand laundry. The industry is blown up right now. The pandemic is what sparked it. Now it's the fastest growing on-demand sector in the US. Convenience is king. And right now we saw the same thing happen with rideshare, food delivery, Instacart. It's happening with laundry because when people find out it's available service and it's affordable, they're using it. Most people using the service have a washer and dryer, right? So why is that? Well, why do people order food and not go get it themselves? They have a car and they have food in the house. So we know it's all about convenience. And Kathy Ireland Logistics, that is transportation logistics, LTL, final mile. There's a few of our portfolio companies that fall underneath that umbrella. We had a lot of success in our previous experience in logistics with White Glove for Less. Currently, it's under Final Mile Technologies. That company will be rolling out here very soon. So excited about Kathy Ireland Logistics and everything that encompasses. Ducks Air Duct Cleaning. It's just what it says. This is a business that's been built out in Tennessee. The gentleman, the owner out there, is putting together a tremendous network of people, put him in the duct business. It's big business because it's all about clean, right? Clean environment, clean workspace, clean household. So much stuff in the air, and schools, universities, businesses, they need, ducts that are clean. And this company really does a tremendous job. The owner, you'll meet in an upcoming podcast, very enthusiastic, very into his business, and really a joy to work for. Hey Dude Services, Dude, I Need a Truck. Now, under Dude, I Need a Truck, it's kind of like the Uber with a truck. You need something moved, you're at Lowe's, you need to have a grill moved, you don't have a truck, you just call Hey Dude, they come pick it up, bring it over there. There's other different services underneath Dude, I Need a Truck, or Hey Dude Services. Trash bin cleaning. There's also Dude Muscle. There's some other verticals underneath that umbrella. And you're going to hear from that owner that really started the business in Santa Barbara, California, and really has taken it nationwide. The e-bike shop, we know electric bikes are big business. This is, opening up a location to rent or sell e-bikes. People that try the e-bikes, most of them, once they try it, they want to buy it. So it's a business that's expanding. It's a simple business, but it's very profitable. Ready Lockers, just think of it as, secured lockers. We know porch theft. We know that, piracy on the porches and, packages that are stolen, that the numbers are off the hook as far as, what's going on out there with theft of packages. This is a secure locker that you have access to as a user. Now, this could be a common office space, could be an apartment complex, could be an office building, could even be an individual residential home. So the whole program has been put together and just recently launched. Ready Lockers, you'll be hearing about that in an upcoming podcast series. Aloha Mini Glow Golf, very fun business. I mean, it's, like putt-putt golf, but it's neon lights. There's 2 locations, soon to be a third in the Northeast. The owners, very very nice people. They're going to be interviewed here in a few weeks. And this is a simple business to operate. Very profitable business. You'll see the numbers that these locations do, and it's quite a business from that standpoint. It does take a little bit of firepower to get in the business, but where you can buy a business really and follow what they've already done and really get your ROI within 6 to 12 months, it's unheard of in the franchise business, but you can do it in licensing. Terralux Homes, think of it as kitchen cabinetry and more. So it's actually being a smart home, but the really focus is putting people in the kitchen cabinetry business. This company has already 12 locations operating across the U.S. very successfully, looking for licensees that want to get in the business. We have an entire program for Terralux Homes. And of course, Main Street Chamber of Commerce. We talked about that. We had the business, sold it. Well, we bought it back. The owner that we sold it to really did nothing, put it on a shelf. And we said that, this time around, it's going to be bigger, better than ever before. The official launch of Main Street Chamber of Commerce will be in January of 26 at the Las Vegas convention. We have our convention every year. So a lot of our licensees, licensors come out to Vegas. We spend a weekend together and just really share ideas, collaborate, showcase some of these portfolio companies. But that'll be officially launched in January of 26. The Computer Exorcist, just become a local tech hero. You don't need to have a degree in tech. You don't need certifications. This is a business that's been around for 16 years, operating in the Northeast. The gentleman, the owner of the company, we're going to interview here in the next week or so, and has 2,100 clients and just does a phenomenal full-time income on a part-time basis, helping the community, especially the older community that are really overwhelmed by technology. And you can go in there and really help them out and not take advantage of them. I mean, we know these, big box stores, they overcharge, they sell stuff that really the consumer doesn't need. That's their business model. This is about really helping people in the community, small businesses, the elderly, and really building a fun business that you can help many people and really become a superhero in your community. Perfect 10 Mattress and Furniture. That's with Bo Derek. You guys remember Bo Derek from back in the day? She is the face of the company, the brand ambassador. This is just simply putting people in the mattress and furniture business. We already have locations up in the United States. That business is growing. We know the pandemic put the business, at a standstill. You couldn't get supplies. Now the business is coming back stronger than ever before. Demand is there. 20% of the market at any given time, they're interested in buying a mattress or furniture. So you have that built-in demand. And here we're giving quality, made in the U.S. mattresses, and they can go into a location and try it before they buy it. A lot of times people, when it's tough to buy a mattress online, you don't know how it feels. You've never sat on it, laid on it. We have locations. You could be set up in a storefront. You could be in a warehouse, more of a distribution center atmosphere. But we have the likes of Bo Derek, just like Kathy, who is the brand ambassador and is really involved in the company, how it works, why it works. And we're going to have more coming. We're right now interviewing other companies. If you're in a business, you're seeing this and you say, you know what, I think my business is perfect for licensing. Well, of course, love to talk to you. Would love to certainly have a discovery call, how we can work together and possibly really talk about how we can structure your business, how to structure your brand. Because one thing you realize that with licensing, there are sometimes different levels of licensing. So I'll take Green Bin as Green Bin Kathy Arlen as an example. So what we have is an owner operator license. So what that does is put somebody in the business, give them the tools, the training, the knowledge, the know-how to open up a location. Now, when somebody buys a license, of course, their biggest concern is, are you putting anybody else in this business in my backyard? So when we give an owner operator position, the nice thing is you can do business anywhere you want in the United States, but it only makes sense. If you're going to rent bins, you got to go pick them back up. Companies going in the direction of national expansion where you'll be able to do the one way, the U-Haul model. But a lot of times somebody wants the exclusive rights over a geographical area. Now that could be a city, it could be a county, it could be based on zip codes. So a lot of times that license fee will be a little bit more than just an owner operator because they want an exclusivity. If they want a bigger territory, sometimes it's a metro or a state. In some cases, in some of these businesses, it could be a regional license. The U.S. Census Bureau breaks up the country into 10 regions. There are multiple states. Somebody could purchase a region. Now, why would they do that? Because if they do, they can not only have their own owner-operator position in their local market, but now they can get paid on other operators throughout that region or throughout that state. So there is usually a multi-level. It's not multi-level. It's not network marketing. And I have nothing against network marketing. It's not network marketing, but there are levels of licensing that helps grow your brand. So the key is, when you're out there and we're promoting the business, because a lot of us, when we bring on a client, it's all about getting the word out, advertising. So marketing is that necessary evil. It costs the company the most, but that's where we get the leads. That's when the magic happens. You get a lead that comes in. That's when we can take them through the sales process. And a lot of times you as the licensor will have a conversation with that potential licensee, right? There might be some boxes that need to be checked in order for you to take on that licensee. So that conversation is important. If they're going to buy your business and duplicate what you've already done or taken your idea and run with it, you want to make sure that obviously there's a relationship there. So having a meeting, usually we'll do a Zoom meeting and make that introduction. It's most licensees want to meet the owner. They want to know exactly, who they're doing business with. So the licensing company, Advanced License, we facilitate that meeting. We're all about keeping our licensors updated. We usually do monthly meetings just to kind of give it checks and balances, leads that came in, conversions, who's in the pipeline. So really total visibility and transparency is very important when you're part of Advanced Licensing and you're underneath our umbrella. So territory licensing, it's structured, it's controlled expansion. You get to protect your brand. It's very cohesive, but it's scalable. And we do look at performance-based licensing. If you have something that is profitable, which chances are if you're expanding, you're doing well in the business. It's different from franchising. Franchise, you get a documentation, right? FDD that basically shares all the financials. Well, licensing, you don't have to share financials. We like to put together a pro forma based on realistic numbers, not pie in the sky, not exaggerated or inflated, but just what somebody can expect month in and month out, right? Money in, money out. How much does it cost to start the business? What can I expect from the business? Where's that break-even point? So we help you put together that pro forma because some people will want to know, how much can I make? Well, how much does it cost? So the pro forma, and obviously putting in a disclaimer, because just because you did it doesn't mean that they're going to be able to do it, right? Because you don't know what they're capable of. You want them to exceed anything that you've ever done. Great. But understand that when somebody pays a license fee, you're getting a percentage of that license fee. That's going to be the capital you're going to need to expand the business, build the business, use for the business. That's what license is all about. As a licensing company, we're getting paid on every license deal we bring in. We pay our brokers a high commission because we bring in quality licensing brokers. These are people that with experience, they need to make money, but we know that part of that license fee goes to you, part goes to us, and that's for us for marketing and keeping the ball going, keeping everything moving forward. So expanding is, an important piece of the puzzle. And, we're very fortunate. We have the right people in the right position, doing the right things, looking in the same direction. We can make great things happen for your company. If you're interested, you can, if you're on this website, fill out the form, tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll do a free consultation, really understand your business. And if it makes sense, we'll find a way to come together and roll out your business for expansion. The nice thing is, and I've said this previously, 45 to 60 days is usually the time frame it takes for us to have everything in place for you to expand nationally. Doesn't take longer than that. Now, if you know the franchise model takes months, sometimes years. There's not a lot of red tape here. We use license agreements that have been tried and tested, very airtight. But that's for your protection as well. You'll review everything. So every step of the way, you're involved. This is your baby. We want to certainly do well by you and what you've created. So you're a very integral part to that expansion. And looking forward to working with you. If you're, again, interested, fill out the form. If you just want to send an email to team@advancedlicensing.com. That comes to the entire group. The right person will respond. But I look forward to seeing you on the next meeting. We're going to profile one of our portfolio companies and really go in the weeds as far as how it works, why it works, talk about more licensing. But grateful you're here. Everyone go out, have a blessed rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you.